People of Earth, good evening. Welcome to this edition 75 of Star Nation News. Edition 75 already, with a lot of things that have happened in this galaxy. A victory, an empire defeated, and a victory of humanity. Humans of Ki, planet Gaia or Terra or Earth, or whatever your heart and your culture calls it. The victory of the people of this planet upon the forces of the dark. Though the fight is not over, the war keeps going on. And even though empires have fallen, some gifts have been left for the humans to deal with. Gifts left by the empires of the dark. The empires may be no more. We need to clean up after their defeat. We will go through these topics in this edition, so fasten your seatbelt and engage! Humanity has been dealing with a higher form of intelligence for decades, under the form and the shape of grays, from the Orion zone. They called themselves the Nebu, and they used to their work other species that they had assimilated, such as the Zeta Reticuli gray populations. The Zeta Reticuli small grays have been used to play a role, to coerce the populations of the worlds they wanted to invade, to make them believe they were the people, the population, the local populations from the future, and that they needed to come back in order to revive their genetic pool because they had allegedly played too much with genetics. Of course, all of these were lies, and all of this was an operation engineered to make the populations believe they would need to agree to be abducted. Abduction goes against the rules of the Prime Directive. The Galactic Federation of Worlds and all positive species who follow the Prime Directive do not abduct people, do not interfere in lesser evolved civilizations, and certainly do not perform anything without the consent of the populations. The baddities who have been abducting people, were infringing the Prime Directives, were not part of the Galactic Federation of Worlds, and were obliged to get in a way the consent of the population to be abducted to get around the Prime Directive. Getting around the Prime Directives can be done in many ways. Manipulation, mind manipulation, can be something that is most commonly used by the abductors, the abusers, but also you have other forms of consent. Fear, but also love. This is strange maybe to you, but there is a point that hasn't been spoken about, which is what we have been calling on Earth the alien love bite. Never a positive species, human or not or whatever, would coerce any other being to be manipulated by feelings to fulfill a global agenda. The Greys have done it throughout their abductions. The abductions had several purposes. The main purpose was to replace the population of Earth. Slowly, they have been doing this for decades, since 1955. Because the governments agreed on your behalf, but also they would take you by surprise in the middle of the night without you realizing, and you find yourself in a ship being tortured and abused. Or because they were in collaboration with some dark governments on Earth, you would be abducted by either Greys or either synthetic Greys and be taken to underground military bases by humans who would conduct their own programs. The replacement of the human race has been an operation going on for decades, but also the plan was not only to try to replace the human race, but also, in case if they failed, install programmings and prepare the ground that when they leave, chaos follows. And because they would not know how they would fail if they failed, they had the hope that they could come back by two ways: by getting the population of Earth to welcome back hybrids that were stored in cargo ships behind the Orion nebulas and have been destroyed since, but also get the population also to agree to be invaded again. And they would abduct not only humans. The Nebu were despicable people, and the Alliance of the Six was despicable people. They would agree also to abduct not only humans of Earth, but they have been colonizing and assimilating many worlds, many other human worlds. And sometimes in abduction scenarios, you would meet some Nordic type human extraterrestrials who were abducted as well from other worlds. And the Greys sometimes also would play a genetic experiment between different races. You would meet sometimes Nordic-looking extraterrestrials as they would present themselves positive, but in fact they would be programmed hybrids from the Grey hybridization operations. There would be charming court going on and mind tricking with women abducted, that they fall in love and that they consent to pass any kind of messages or promoting any type of agendas on behalf of the Greys without knowing it. It is very, very easy to recognize because there would be something off about them, something off. Of course, the main operations of the Greys were to confront the breeder mothers abducted by millions every year to their hybrid offsprings to create a bond and get the mothers to promote the return of the Greys because they wanted so much to get their hybrid children back. The Greys are hybrid civilization, let's say. They have been hybridizing themselves among themselves. They are a hive consciousness. They are master in genetic experiments. They were. Because in 2021, the hive was destroyed by the Galactic Federation of Worlds. It is true that it has been very confusing. But you know, it is over. The Nebu and the Alliance of the Six is no more. The Nebu who ruled the Alliance of the Six were the Eban from Betelgeuse, tall Greys who contacted the MJ-12 on Earth in 1955. They were assimilating also two cultures of small Greys, the Cygnus Solipsirae and the Zeta Reticuli. There is nothing left good in Zeta Reticuli. The star systems have been wrecked. So when you hear allegedly Greys from Zeta Reticuli presenting themselves as Ascended Master or whatever, it is all trickery. As emissary for the Galactic Federation of Worlds, I have prime information, and I've been following the events. Not only from this lifetime, I've been involved many months ago. I was in the Orion Wars, and I've been leading rebellion to fight the growing expansion of the Nebu Empire, who were assimilating other grey hives to grow and become a more powerful army moved by one consciousness, one speed of thought, one mind. We failed at the time, and we knew why, and we're all back to help you go through the trickery, the mind controls and the manipulation. But who can speak better than me? Prince Ea, the heir of the Anak Empire, who was in the heart of the battle when shit hit the fan in the Orion Zone. So, I will now let you in the care of Anak Prince Ea, who will tell you with his own words about the methods used by the Greys and the illusion.
I have crossed eons of time and learned about illusion. There are constants in creation that are tangible manifestations of the source creator. There are also intellectual concepts that are made up by the minds of created beings. Any created being has the capacity to manifest a seemingly tangible realization from their mind, but in truth, it has no real consistency or substance. Created beings most often seek a path for their personal evolution, healing, or learning through the illusion generated by their own mind. Came to my attention that a mind-created concept, named by its inventors, the Galactic Federation of Light, resurges from years of careful programming. This mind-created concept is a weaponized concept that wasn't generated by any genuine mind seeking evolution, healing, or learning. A weaponized concept is a matrix of illusions configured into geometric patterns that hack individual minds as part of a global operation to control the masses' minds. The Galactic Federation of Light weaponized concept was invented by a powerful hive mind whose sole purpose was to hijack the minds of the people of Ki, numb them to a comfortable illusion, and then divert them from the reality of their power, their world, and the universe in order to assimilate them into their hive-minded society. The people of Ki were lured into believing that the Galactic Federation of Light was a real spiritual organization. The Nebu hive mind coerced the minds of many people in the targeted community of humans who were awakening and would guide the rest of humanity. They rerouted their spiritual awakening towards an illusion that was a mind trap so that they would stray from the path. The Galactic Federation of Light is not real. It doesn't exist. Those who believe so are under a mind control programming installed by the former alliance of the Six Empires, Nebu, Skrogog, Kili, Tokurit, Maitra, Sikar, Solipsarai, which held your planet in hostage. Humans of Ki, the time for arguing about the existence of the illusion is over because the illusion no longer exists. The Alliance of the Six has fallen, while the Galactic Alliance of Netru has grown in power and influence. My father Anu, Atara of the Anakim, allied with the Galactic Federation of Worlds, a powerful organization dedicated to protecting peace and balance throughout the galaxy. You may be familiar with the concept of Jedi, spiritual warriors who fight with technology, diplomacy, intelligence, and spiritual guidance. This is what the Galactic Federation of Worlds is and is about. The Galactic Federation of Worlds is real. The Galactic Federation of Light is not. Beware of how the word light is often used to lure innocent butterflies seeking their way in the night. Discord about these topics is obsolete because in this case, discord is blindness driven by illusion. The Nebu Empire has fallen. The alliance of the Six has dissolved. Whether or not you argue about this topic will not change the outcome because you have already won this war, people of Ki. Stop feeding the programs installed in your planet's collective consciousness, and they will die. They will fade away. The regressive gray cultures have disappeared. There is nothing to worry about anymore. Don't dwell on the past. Evolve and move forward. Stop talking about them. The Greys, as you call them, are a memory of the past. There are countless diverse gray genetic cultures in the global creation, and not all of them intend to conquer. However, the Galactic Federation of Worlds, which looks after peace and balance, has forbidden the positive gray cultures from interacting with your planet in order to avoid causing confusion. The Tall Tau Ceti Emertha are the only exception. No other benevolent gray culture is in contact with the people of Ki. The Galactic Federation of Worlds knew that the Nebu were planting illusions in the minds of all abductees, convincing them that positive gray cultures were harvesting their consent to assimilate them. Free will is essential to circumvent the Prime Directive, which is based on the cosmic laws of creation, and evolution abduction violates both the Prime Directive and the law of free will. No benevolent, highly evolved culture abducts people and performs genetic procedures without their consent. People of Ki, you have been victims of manipulation for decades with the collaboration of your governments. You have been dealing with a higher form of intelligence that is hundreds of thousands of years ahead of you technologically and operates as a hive mind, thinking collectively and computing faster than you could ever comprehend. Stop defending the illusion and embrace the fact that the Nebu no longer exist.
As long as the illusion persists, no benevolent gray culture will come into contact with the humans of Ki in order to avoid spreading confusion and helping you to overcome the programming. The Nebu Greys were led by the Tall Ebens from the Betelgeuse star system. They worked closely with another gray culture they had assimilated, the Zrog, or Du, from the Zeta Reticuli star system. Both cultures were hives. In a hive consciousness society, all minds have an individual, primary survival brain that is naturally connected to a collective consciousness, which is one with the central module, or as you call it, the Queen. These units cannot ascend to a higher consciousness because doing so would mean separating from the hive. If they do so, they die. It is indeed time for you, humans of Ki, to leave the illusions behind and step out of the programming of the fallen empires that left you to fight each other in the post-war chaos they wanted. You have been hypnotized. You have been given trigger words that control your mind, and only the frequency of your attunement to your heart can dissolve them. By supporting the illusion, you spread confusion and postpone the realization of the beautiful golden future you so dearly desire. By bravely admitting that you have been played, and by defending the truth, you inspire and empower others. Walk away from what confuses your mind. Step out of the illusion. Step into the love. The grays are history. Now, humans of Ki, it is time for you to step into the present and build the future. Advance as a civilization towards a united planetary culture that will reach out to the stars and join the greater galactic community. Your family, the Galactic Federation of Worlds, and the United Alliance of Nadaru. I will be there representing the empire of my father. And I am waiting eagerly to embrace you with my love. But first, you must take the first step.
Anach Princia, I thank you on behalf of humanity of Ki, whom I represent. Anach Prince Ia is at the head of galactic diplomacy, working for the powerful empire of Anu. His role is to maintain peace and assist the Galactic Federation of Worlds to do so. As you could hear him describing the Galactic Federation of Worlds as a wise, powerful, military and spiritual organization who vow their purpose at preserving balance in the galaxy. There are things that are now part of the past of Earth and past of this galaxy. While the Seeker Empire has been defeated, but his rogue operatives are still roaming through the galaxy, we can, with assurance, say that the Grey Nebu Empire has fallen. The Nebu Empire has fallen. Since 2021, it doesn't exist anymore, thanks to the Galactic Federation of Worlds. The hybrids that were in the ships behind the Orion Nebula have been destroyed. Only what is left on Earth are the programmings installed on former abductees and hybrid people. These programmings, which were aimed at promoting the Greys, their return and their hybrids, they're going to run until they run out. You know? So these people are victims, spreading confusion, of course, but it's better recognizing the psychological operations and the illusion, as Ia says. And when you identify the illusion, you just switch off and don't listen to it anymore. You're sorry for these people, but that has been a war. When they will leave this avatar, they will leave the programming. And he has said, there is a frequency that can undo these programmings. It's the frequency of the heart, frequency of love. You must have total humility, no ego, and give up all ties with greed and popularity to manage to radiate this humble but powerful frequency from the heart. This is so powerful because in your heart is a fractal of Creator Source. And this seed is the most precious and powerful thing you can imagine having in your hands, in your possession. Use it. The power of love. Grays have gone. They are history. We shouldn't be talking about them anymore. As much we talk about them, we maintain their frequency. We maintain the old paradigm. So I will invite all of you to move forward and build this wonderful future we all want and leave the grays to the past. They are not here anymore. They don't exist anymore. We are moving forward towards a wonderful future that is human and built by humans. And one day you will discover that all of you are the architects of the future of Earth as a powerful, planetary, interstellar civilization part of the greater galactic community. I will meet you in Ginza, Tokyo very soon on June 6th, and then in France in August 2025, and Charlotte, North Carolina, September, Dubai in November, and we will go on for more disclosure with the beautiful, wonderful cooperation, collaboration, and love of our brothers and sisters from the stars. Now, I am bringing you to the Auriga constellation to meet a very special people, very interesting. Welcome to the Auriga constellation and meet the Eshuit. See you next week.
Analyzing data.
AB Auriga A is a blue star of spectral type A0, whose light frequency range extends towards the ultraviolet. These conditions are the most hospitable environment for the grey species to thrive. On Gol 4, the fourth planet, an indigenous, peaceful, spacefaring civilization of tall greys developed. Standing 8 to 9 feet tall, the Eshuit have obsidian eyes with a silver pupil, an elongated skull with a median ridge. They are a level 3 planetary hive mind, meaning that all life on Gol 4 is connected to the central mind of the planet. Here is a reminder of the classification of the different types of hives. Type 1. Single species interfaced with its own biological queen. Type 2. Single species interfaced with the planetary queen consciousness. Type 3. Global planetary consciousness interfaced hive, including all life forms. Because the Orion nebulae and the Alliance of the Six, including the Zeta Reticuli and the Solipsirae small greys, the Mitra and the Key Litokurt, gave a terrible name to the grey species in this galaxy, it is crucial to understand that not all greys in the universe are malevolent. In all cultures, there are beings drawn to serve the destruction path instead of the creative path, both poles of the dynamics of Creator Source, necessary to the functioning of the universe. However, regarding the situation on Earth, exception made of the Tau Ceti Emerther, tall greys with a human face. No, absolutely no benevolent greys have made contact. The only greys except the Emerthers who have been coming to Earth, making contact and abducting people, are all nefarious, very dangerous beings. The choice for the benevolent grey cultures not to interact with Earth humans was to not create confusion, as humans have a hard time at differentiating them all. Nonetheless, now that the Nebu Empire has collapsed and the Alliance of the Six has fallen apart, we may start to meet with fascinating new cultures, such as the Eshuit.
Star Nation News was brought to you by Elena Danan. Don't miss the latest news every Monday on Elena Danan's channel. Video directed by StefZak.